Quiet on set.
Roll camera.
Sound speed.
Mark, please. And action.
Welcome to a special awards night edition of Students in Focus. Today, we're here celebrating students at the Zappers Film Festival. I brought along a fellow student producer to learn more about this event.
Thanks, Katie. I'm Avery. I'm the guest producer for Students in Focus. I'm currently in my first year at Salt Lake Community College, majoring in film production. We are coming to you at the Film and Media Arts Auditorium at the University of Utah. This festival is put on each year by the U of U's Film Production Club. It's created by students for students, and they're open to all genres and styles. After 2 days of screenings, this is the awards night. Come along as we chat with students about their films and festival experiences.
The FPC is the film production club here at the University of Utah. We focus on student filmmakers who are trying to make films as big as they can and make films as high level as possible. We really care about people meeting each other, people getting crew members, people showing their films and getting their name out there, and overall feeling confident in showing their films and in making films. The Zappers Film Festival here at the University of Utah is an annual event. It's really, really exciting. Every year we nominate a bunch of filmmakers and we give out awards for it. We always have a great outcome of people showing up to not only support their own films and other people's films, but to really support filmmaking in general and to really support people making films and being brave enough to show it. Zappers has always been really exciting. I think this year our lineup was extremely competitive and everyone who won their awards completely deserved it, and everyone who was nominated worked so hard for it. The way I got involved with the FPC was kind of strange, actually. So I was never a member of the FPC for a very long time. I had a lot of friends who were in it, a lot of friends on the executive board throughout my years here. But last year's Zappers, I actually had my film nominated for Best Cinematography, which felt like a really big deal to me and was really, really exciting. After that, I decided to join the club, and I was then asked to join the board as public outreach because everyone was very familiar with me and my work.
So when I was a freshman many years ago at this point, I was looking to get involved with the club. It's hard when you're a freshman to figure out how to get on sets, how to meet people. You go to your classes, and you're wondering where everybody is. Like, where's everybody making these films they keep talking about? And I started going to film production club meetings, and I was able to meet people with similar passions as mine. I was able to get on sets. I was able to make great friends that have lasted to this day. And yeah, eventually I was asked to be on the exec board, and it's also been a great experience. I feel like in film school, it's sometimes a helpless feeling because you know that you're here to make stuff. You have to come here to make that reel, to make that film that you can show people after you graduate. And when you're part of a club like this, we try to give the tools to people to go out there and actually make what they need to equip themselves after they graduate. And in doing that, they're gonna meet their next DP and their next best friend and their next director that they work with if they are a DP through the connections made through this club and through the productions they make. We take submissions from all different years, all different classes, whether they were made inside school or outside school. As long as you're a student at the University of Utah and you're a filmmaker, we look at your submission. One of the winner of the Best Director nomination tonight, Jason Cox for Red Noise, fantastic film. He made that film in his second year of school, and it was up there competing and beating senior films and capstones. So it's a great opportunity to kind of measure yourself against other filmmakers and also celebrate your hard work, because most of the people in this room have been on at least one set, because it's a film school, we all work on each other's sets.
My project is a short film about a woman coming to terms with childhood trauma and some psychological issues she's been dealing with, the denial that she's experiencing and having to confront that. So it's something I think that, while it's maybe not specific to a lot of people, it's kind of a universal message. I hope it's something that can resonate with people and that people can see themselves in and get something out of in that way. I joined the FPC at the beginning of this this school year when I transferred here. So I met some people who were tabling at one of the events at the beginning of the school year, joined the club. I got the opportunity to go to a bunch of meetings, to be on some sets with lots of these people, and the whole time, they're talking about Zappers at the end of the year. And so I always, from the beginning of the year, I had that ambition of, I'm gonna make some films this year and I would love to submit to it and get them shown. I think sometimes other film festivals can seem really daunting. Obviously this is a film festival, but it's also a student showcase, right? And so most of the films here have been projects people made for class. I think it's a little less intimidating to just submit it for, to be seen by your peers. But I also think having something seen by your peers is a great opportunity to make those connections, right? Have people see your stuff, notice you, get you on their sets, and that way you can just kind of branch out and continue working on projects that matter to you.
Okay, I was alongside Camden, McDonald, and Juniper. I produced it with him and first AD'd, and it was his little baby that we just kind of met in a coffee shop, went over locations and the most basic stuff, and then kind of became my baby too. We just wanted to, actually all the work we did, we just wanted to get it somewhere. We had 3 overnight shoots, 12 a.m. to 9 a.m., 12 a.m. to 9 a.m., then 4 a.m. to 12, and there's no way we could let the whole crew down and not put that anywhere. They're incredible opportunities to kind of just give us the base level of learning what a festival is like. Even the nominations at like this low level of a festival compared to like Sundance and whatnot, nominations still get our hearts racing. Like even placements and the pre-screenings that weren't nominated is like an incredible experience, gets us excited, even though it's just us students, we all know each other. Like, we recognize how small it is, but it's so fun and actually heart-racing to see the nominations drop.
Yeah, so the project I submitted is called Chains. It's my capstone film, and it's a really personal movie to me. It's kind of about my experience with filmmaking and risk-taking, so it's pretty dark, but I hope a lot of people can get something from it, even if they don't have that great of a time. It was fun. I wanted to submit Change to the festival because Zappers is just a really cool program, and I just wanted to engage more with the filmmaking community at the University of Utah. Festivals like Zappers are important opportunities for students because it gets film students engaged with their local community at the University of Utah, and it also gives them a chance to showcase their work, which isn't really seen a lot if you don't have award assemblies like this.
So The Ashes is a film basically about an Pakistani immigrant and her friend, and what happens when they talk about one of the characters' dead's father and how the final rites are supposed to be. And I actually happened to make this film because I had a fear myself, what happens if I go outside the US and come back as an immigrant. And the film revolves around that very particular plot line. One of the characters, she's afraid to leave because she and her immigration status is still in the process. And it's a film about all of that fear and struggle many immigrants like us go through. Yeah, I feel like it's very important for us as filmmakers, as people who want to tell stories, to have a platform for our films to be recognized and shown. And I feel Zappers and film festivals like Zappers give us an opportunity to go out and share our stories, our films with the world. And it's a good communal space, I would say, that we have built here at Zappers and at the U. And this is something that I think has to go just more ahead and move forward. And I think it's awesome.
I think Zappers is a really important opportunity for students because I think it's really scary to put your work out there. I think it's really scary for people to see your films and that kind of judgments that you make about them before you show it to anybody. And this is a really good time to really step out of your comfort zone and know that you can do it. And if you just try, you can be accepted and you can meet so many great people and gain so much knowledge and importance from it.
For a lot of our members and film students in general who want to be directors and want to be producers, submitting films into festivals is a muscle you have to exercise. And it's overwhelming sometimes to get on Film Freeway and pay your $10 to try to get into all these different festivals, but something you have to do. So this, hopefully, we're hoping is a good entry point for people to be like, I submitted to a festival and I got nominated and I got my film shown. So my next film, I need to submit to Zappers, but I also need to submit to 5 other festivals. And that's how I'm gonna jumpstart my career.
My favorite thing about Zappers Film Festival is probably the excitement. This is the end of the year for students. Everyone is exhausted. This is my 3rd all-nighter in a row, and I cannot believe how many people still showed up for each other and got so excited over all the films. Even if they lost, they were still cheering so hard for the people who won. And I think that kind of community really shows why we're in the arts together.
Thanks again to the University of Utah's Film Production Club for having us at the Zappers Film Festival. Congratulations to all of the nominees and students who worked so hard putting this event together. We loved seeing your work on the big screen and being a part of the excitement surrounding this event.
When people think of Sundance, they think of a world of independent films and filmmakers. But they're all a part of something much, much bigger. At the heart of it all is the Sundance Institute, a nonprofit arts organization that supports extraordinary artists, their culture-shifting work, and connects them with passionate audiences. We're a global stage for independent storytellers, and we amplify the impact of their work in the world. We discover next-gen voices and provide the resources they need to bring their stories to life. We support artists who are building new realities to explore. And we connect emerging storytellers everywhere with decades of experience and expertise. The Sundance Institute is bringing together artists, film lovers, educators, funders, and industry to evolve our world through stories.
Our final piece is an industry spotlight with prop master Scott Arneman, who has worked with props for many years. His first gig was working as an assistant on the film The Sandlot in 1992, and he's been hooked on props ever since.
My favorite thing about doing props is that it's so different. There are a lot of things that are routine, you know, getting to set, setting up the director's chairs, and you know, that's pretty standard. But the projects can be so different. So I did a river running movie where I had to learn all about what river runners did, what they carried with them, what kind of props, what kind of knots they used, how they launched the boats. And we were on the river all day, we were on boats, so that was super exciting. I've done period films. There's all this research and getting to learn about all these different things that go into the film, because a lot of times you might hand an actor a prop. On Luck of the Irish I did for the Disney Channel, I had to get something called Ilian pipes, which are the Irish version of bagpipes. So I had to find this, and then when I found a guy in Salt Lake, a kid who had a set of these, and then he showed me how to play them, because sure enough, the actor, he didn't know what he was doing. So I had to show him how to hold it and how to squeeze it, and you know, of course it sounded like crap, but at least they looked good for anybody that was watching. So that's the fun part of my job, is learning all these different diverse aspects of the world that you're filming about, and getting to learn it and passing that information on to the actors as though you're some sort of expert. How I got involved in filmmaking, I was working out at the airport, and my friend also worked at the airport. She had a boyfriend who was a gaffer, so she started hanging out with him on movie sets and things like that. She got a job in the movies, and then a movie came to town called The Sandlot, which is a little kid's baseball movie, which has kind of turned into a classic and filmed not very far from here at my house. She called me up one day and said, "Scotty, they need somebody in the art department. I think you'd be perfect for that." And I said, "Lisa, I got my airline career. Why would I go do that?" But she did invite me out to set, and I got to be around those people, and it looked super fun. So when another opportunity came up, the prop people needed somebody for a few days, and I was able to trade my shifts at the airline and work around it. And I went and worked for 3 days up in Ogden for the prop department. And that's what got me started in the film business. And I was 30 years old at the time. The prop master, well, first of all, props in very loose general terms are anything an actor touches or handles. Because you might watch a movie and see all sorts of what we call props, you know, pictures on the wall or couches. There's different departments. So if the actor isn't really involved with it physically, it usually falls to the art department, the set decorator, or the construction department or something like that. But if in the script it talks about the actor's sitting on the couch, drinking a cup of coffee, smoking a cigarette and reading a magazine, then you know, he's touching those very specific things in the script, and I'm the one that has to make sure that those are there on the day of filming. There might be a painting on the wall, but if the painting's not on the wall the day we go to film, it might not be a big deal. But if he goes to smoke a cigarette and there's no cigarettes around, that's a problem. You know, when you watch a movie, if it's a good movie, you just feel like you're watching real life, and you don't realize that somebody has crafted everything you're seeing, from their clothes to their makeup to the hair not flying away to the props in their hand and the carpet on the floor. The different roles in my department, the prop department, we fall under the broad umbrella of the art department. And in charge of the art department is a production designer. He's going to be over the construction, which is you know, the building of the sets, as well as painting and scenic work. The production designer will also be over the set decorator, who will decorate a house or a kitchen, or let's say this movie was about a guy in a prop truck. He might have all the stuff hanging on the walls and the signs like this. And then of course there's me, I'm the prop master. I'm the third department under the production designer. And prop master and assistant prop master, it's usually that small of a department. A lot of times there'll be a third, and then we bring on people as needed, and those in the industry are known as day players. So I usually have a bunch of people that I know that are in the business, and I can call up and say, hey, you know, we've got a big food scene coming up on Wednesday the 25th. Are you available? And I'll gather as many people as I need to get it done. After, of course, talking with the producer, making sure that he'll pay for it. A day on set starts way before the movie even gets going with the prep. You would make sure the day before you start shooting that you have everything you need for that day, that you know, that you didn't leave it back at the office, that it's loaded on the truck, ready to go to set the day you film. So I arrive to set, I get my free breakfast from the caterer, then I would go. Depends on if we're shooting on location or on a stage. But if we're shooting in location, you know, I bring this truck, it's loaded with everything we have for the day. I got rolling carts that need to come off. I've got the director's carts that need to come off. So I start staging and getting prepared for the day's work. At call time, we would have a rehearsal. So the actors would come on. This is before they usually before they go through hair, makeup, and that sort of thing. And the director will work with the actors, run through the scene. I try and make sure that I have my props there ready for them to rehearse with, because they're as much a part of the scene as the actors are. And so we'll do a rehearsal. So after the rehearsal and everybody figures out what they need, then the guys in the camera, the lighting, and electrical department get set up lighting the scene. And this usually takes somewhere between 15 minutes and an hour. And I use that time to do my final tweaks, make sure that I have everything ready, resets and stuff like that. The actors will come back, do another rehearsal, then cameras roll, and we do, you know, however many takes we do of the master. They'll move the camera and we'll do close-ups and get our coverage. And then that's it for a scene. So we do that over and over and over again. Sometimes a scene will take all day and we'll be in the same location. Other times we may do several scenes, 6, 7, 8, and they might be in different locations. So everybody packs up all their stuff, rolls it to wherever we're going next, set up, and we do it again. Then at the end of the night, I make sure I've collected the props back from everybody, that it's all accounted for. You know, I get the wedding bands off the actors before they disappear into their rental cars and go home, and make sure it's all ready, and then get ready for the next day. And of course, it's not just me. I've got usually an assistant, and a lot of times more than one assistant. For, I would say, TV, episodic TV, it works pretty good with a 3-man crew, and then I bring on extra people as needed. So during the day, once I get the first scene kind of under my belt, I disappear back to the truck to start prepping for the next day, the next week, the next month. I've got to constantly be looking in the future for what's coming down the road, get it ordered, get it here. While I'm doing that, my assistant is on set, wrangling the props, making sure that if, you know, the actor pours a cup of coffee, that when we cut, he refills the pot so that it's full again, and that, you know, he's on set running the scene, so to speak. But a lot of the stuff I'm able to keep. You saw my 40-foot container next door filled with props. Obviously, I can't keep everything I buy because I end up paying to store it. And if I did, I'd have 27 storage units. But this is how I build my kit. So I might do a Disney Channel show. Maybe we'll buy 5 or 6 new backpacks for this season. Or maybe in this particular episode, we'll get a new character and I'll buy a new backpack for them. At the end of the season, the hero stuff, the stuff that's featured on camera, I have to make an asset list and an inventory stuff. That's packed up and sent back to the studio. And then down the road, if there's any reshoots or something like that, the props are all listed and they know exactly where they need to go and get them. Or with any luck, there'll be a season 2 and all that stuff gets shipped back to me, and then I'll have it. But little things that I buy for you know, silverware and backpacks and books, I will keep if I think that they're going to be useful on another show. And that's also helpful because when I go and do a Disney Channel show and I've got 300 extras in a hallway, I've got 6 crates of backpacks from my years of other shows collected bit by bit. So yeah, they're buying a few backpacks and they're coming to me, but they're benefiting from all of these other shows that came before because I've got that inventory. Somebody that wants to get into the business, do whatever you can to find somebody that's already in the business and make friends with them. See if you can get on set in an intern position. My first job on the Sandlot, I worked for free. I was working out at the airport, but they'd say, hey, can you, do you want to intern for us? And I came and I worked for free. I was unloading furniture and I was busting my hump. I mean, I was working as hard as the guys that were getting paid, if not harder. And pretty soon they were saying, hey, we've got this big truck coming on Tuesday. Are you going to be with us? And that's when you say, well, I got to work at the airport that day. And I pulled that trick and they go, we'll pay you. So I got my first paying gig on the Sandlot that way.
Thanks again to Scott for teaching us all about the art of props. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Students in Focus. You can check out past episodes on our YouTube channel or uen.org/studentsinfocus. And don't forget, you can submit your project to be featured here on UEN TV. See you next time.